Guys.
All right. Hey, Rusty. Questions for Rusty? Raise up your hand and we'll get right into questions. All right, Russ, first question is from John Steppe.
Now you're kind of halfway through a season at this Big Ten level. What's kind of been that adjustment process like? And are there any challenges you've been running into?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still football, which I knew coming into it, but obviously the guys are a little bigger and faster. So it was an adjustment, but I went against a really good D line during camp, so it helps me get ready for the season. So yeah, other than that, just go out there and play. Just play my game,
Scott Docterman.
I wanted to ask about something completely off the wall, and that is your T-shirt. I've seen Jennings wear it a few times. How did you come up with that design, and who did it? And how many copies of it do you have?
So that design, honestly, when I just thought of something that I would put on a T-shirt, I just thought of my big ugly beard, and it worked out perfect. Like the people that I did it, the company that I did it with, I told them what I wanted and they kind of made it for me. And honestly, I have one shirt for myself and that's about it. So, yeah.
Next question is from David Eichholt.
Hey, Rusty, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, so appreciate you taking the time. Just seems like over the past few weeks, you guys have really started to piece it together. Obviously, you guys had a huge game in the run game last week, but what's really been the key to you guys improving and kind of bouncing back over the course of the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think, just the consistent, improvement mindset that Coach Barnett really pushes on us is regardless of if we play good or if we don't play great, our main goal is to get better at the things that we have to do to win. So I really think, just every week focusing on us, not as much as the other team, just focusing on what we do and our fundamentals and things like that, really helps us, get better every week, which is good, just having that consistent play.
Next question is from Tyler Tashman.
How are you doing, Rusty?
Good. How are you?
Good. What is just your evaluation of what you guys have done as a unit this season? What do you feel like you've done well, and what are things you want to continue to improve on?
Yeah, and overall, I think, we've done a good job, and that's, all credit to Barnett, Coach Barnett, and the guys in the room, just playing together and, having each other's backs. And of course, there's always things that you can get better at. Like every game, there's good plays and bad plays, right? Just focus on getting better, focus on what we can do, like I just said. And, we will continue to get better every week. Every team we play will be better. Yeah.
John Steppe.
When did the beard start?
Probably my freshman year of college was when I just kind of said, screw it, I'm not going to cut it. And then it just got to where it is, and I can't picture myself without it. So maybe my wedding someday I won't have it. But other than that, there's nothing that'll make me cut it.
David Eichholt.
Rusty, just talking to George a few minutes ago, he mentioned that when you transferred to Iowa, you really just kind of helped propel the room forward, and there was more investment in the room forward. And obviously you and George have had a long lasting relationship. I guess, what's that mean to you to have a coach say that about you, even though you hadn't even arrived on campus, but he's really crediting you for helping push the room forward as well?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's a great guy, great coach. Obviously, it's really cool for me to hear, because sometimes I don't even feel like I was doing something, like even now, like it's not that I come in every day and I'm like, the reason we're getting better is because of me. No, it's not like that at all. It's, I came in here from what I've seen, the guys are dedicated and they work really hard, and joining a room like that has, just been great for me and great for everyone else. Like it's just cool to be a part of, and it's something I really haven't thought about, just come in here and play football and meet the guys and make some friendships. That's really all that I think about.
Tyler Tashman.
What all just led you to come to Iowa, and just what was that kind of process like after you went in the portal?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, I just said what led you to Iowa, and just kind of what was the decision-making process after you went in the portal?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in the portal, I was in the portal for 5 days, 6 days, maybe. So it wasn't a long time at all. I wasn't looking for a long process. I wanted to find a school that I thought was best for me and my family. And obviously knowing Coach Barnett, Coach Ferentz, I'd never met the guy, but so much about him, just how good of a coach he is and how good of a man he is. And, just once Coach Barnett called me, it was kind of wraps from there. I was in the portal on Monday, I think, or Tuesday, and flew to Iowa for my official visit on Saturday, and committed the next morning after my official visit. And it was pretty smooth, honestly. I didn't really have much other thought, or I wasn't chasing some of the stuff that maybe some other guys chase. I wanted a program that had takes great pride in the program and just good people, and it's exactly what I got.
David Eichholt.
Yeah, Rusty, just curious, what have you kind of heard about the Iowa-Wisconsin rivalry, if anything? I mean, typically this is one of the more physical games, probably not even just in the conference, but in the country. And kind of what have you seen from Wisconsin's front on film?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're really good, big physical dudes, and every team that we play in the Big Ten is going to be that way, like these guys are, I've seen the other side, and these guys are all really good, really athletic, really big, and that's why we have to be on our A game every week if we want to win. We've got to run the ball and throw the ball, and do our job. And the rivalry, yeah, there's a lot of trophy games at Iowa, and honestly, like before I got here, I knew the Cyhawk and that, I guess, and learning about all of them has been pretty cool. And yeah, just it's just another game though. It's a big game because it's our next game. It's like that every week. This is just a huge game for us because it's our next opportunity. So
All right. Perfect. Thank you for your time, Rusty.
awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Dude, thank you.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah.
Hello, Eric. We'll go right into questions. Raise your hand and we'll get this underway.
Okay.
First one, Eric, is from David Eichholt.
What's going on, Eric? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, so I know you mentioned on Saturday that you didn't see any jitters from Deacon, and it's obviously a big game for you guys, but it's a big game for him going to a place he's familiar with. Just kind of curious how you've kind of seen him go through the past couple of days of practice and how he's continuing to grow as a new starting quarterback.
Oh yeah, he was locked in. He's been locked in Tuesday and Wednesday, and he's been, I see him getting extra reps and just taking the extra reps, when they're really not supposed to be his reps, and that's always a good sign. Just seeing him get in there and he's doing good, and probably another great week of practice I've seen by him, just as far as hitting his target and making the right reads and stuff like that. So not that I know exactly what read he's supposed to take on throws and stuff, but just as far as like hitting his target, pretty much.
Next question is from John Steppe.
Hey, Eric, I remember you mentioning, I think it was this past Saturday, about being from the same area as Caleb Johnson. Is that something that you guys talk about a lot in Skyline or Gold Star?
Yeah, we talk about it pretty much every time we talk. We bring up Cincinnati and different parts of Hamilton that we grew up in and stuff like that. We relate stuff all the time back home. But we talk about it a lot. And I personally like Skyline better than Gold Star. That's because it was closer to me, and I would just eat it all the time instead of Gold Star. So yeah.
Next question is from Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Eric, this program's history and tradition at tight end is well known, and it's really on display in the NFL. I was wanting to know, do you follow much of the Iowa guys in there? I know, other than Sam, you probably didn't get a to know them. And what have you learned since you've been on campus that's kind of maybe fortified that tradition and maybe helped you grow as a tight end?
Um, well, I follow Sam a lot. I watch the Lions, and I really turned into like a kind of like a Lions fan, just because, we got guys there from here for Sam and Jack and stuff and from last year we had Aiden go in. So I've been watching them a lot. And not only that, they were on Hard Knocks, and I loved watching Coach Campbell and stuff like that. Like I like grew into a kind of a fan. I've always been a Cowboys fan growing up, and so it's kind of like in between the Cowboys and the Lions is what I've been watching. And we come in on Sundays, so we don't really have time to watch that much of NFL football. So that's really who I've been watching. I try to catch the highlights and stuff of other games going on. So yeah, that. And what was the second question? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's just really, what have you acquired since you've gotten here, both mentally, physically, to learn the position, and maybe how this is, why it's become so prevalent in the NFL at that position, at the one you play.
I think mainly the main thing is you have to be really like conditioned, and that's never been an issue with me, like just being like conditioned, like just like stamina wise, and that's never been an issue with me. But like, man, like these practices are starting to wear me out, just as far as like reps. And that's really what it is. Like I can see like why because you don't get tired here, especially because you take so many reps at practice. You get out in there in the game, and that's like half the battle is just being available and in the game, and being able to take a lot of reps. And I feel like NFL coaches would love that. I mean, I'm not really sure what they look at and stuff like that. I just go out there and try my best and my hardest. But just being an Iowa tight end is just being physical and being able to get in there and block and hit guys, and being able to separate yourself in routes and get open and catch the ball in traffic, and yak, of course, catching the ball out and getting yards after contact and after the catch and stuff like that. So yeah.
Next question's from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Eric. Kind of curious your observations first year in the program of how you see Ferentz or whoever it is teach you guys how to win these close games. I mean, Iowa is known for finding unconventional ways to win despite the statistical profiles at times. What have you seen in how this team has found ways to win this season? And you're 5-1 right now.
Oh yeah, I just we'd love to just blow every team out, but it's not always going to be like that. And we that's really our kind of way to win games so far this year. And really it's just you know just knowing that we're not always out of the fight, and we're willing to play 4 quarters and willing to just work downhill in the run game and in the pass game as well, just to you know just finish every game and try our best to come out on top. And it's all just fight and stuff, from the O line and running backs and Deacon now, and the coaches too. This we're just fighting and just to come out on top. So
Scott Docterman.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the adjustment of the blocking style here. Specifically, your backside knee has to be placed towards the midpoint of the guy. The way that Iowa blocks is somewhat unique, I guess.
it is.
How much of a transition was that for you, especially because you're lining up all over the place? You're not just a traditional Y. I mean, you're lining up at F, you're lining up at H, you're kind of slotting at times, and so how challenging has that been for you to just make sure you're on your aiming points when you also are moving all over the place?
Yeah, it's really different, especially, coming here from, Michigan. We weren't taught to block like that. And, I was just or block like how we block here, and at first it was real difficult through spring ball. Well, in spring ball I wasn't really blocking at all anyways because I was, rehabbing my back and, just getting back into things. But um also in the fall camp as well. But it was just, just so hard, like coming from the different system and learning the block here. And, just blocking here, it's more of like an aggressive, like we're trying to bury guys every play. And, it's no like I'm trying to like how can I put it? Pretty much we're just trying to run through a guy instead of like keeping the base and having our feet in the ground and, and pulling them close. And yeah, we pull them close here too, but we're having our feet running and driving through people instead of keeping the base to where like you don't get push pulled and you're balanced and stuff like that. So but here is like coach believes in, and if you're driving a guy, you don't have to worry about being push pulled because the guy is on his heels, trying to brace our pressure on them, which is great. And I love it. I love every bit of it. And I definitely feel like myself getting the hang of things and in the block game, like in the inline blocking game. And just it's just different. And I'm getting the hang of it, and I'm excited about being able to get out and doing it in the games. So
I hate to jump
All
in
right.
here, sorry, James. But Rob Gronkowski described it with working with Brian on this as kind of pushing a car and then displacing the person, not just walling off the person.
yeah.
And Gronkowski described that as that was the difference in making him a great blocker versus an average one. Do you see the same elements when you are trying to do that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Coach Hodge hasn't referenced that, not while I've been here, but it makes a lot of sense because there's like no base involved with it at all. You're just driving, like imagine just like putting your hands on the wall and just trying to just run through it. And that's all we do. And it definitely adds a different level to your blocking game for sure.
All right, two more questions, Eric. First one's from John Steppe.
As someone who's obviously known Cade for a while, how have you seen him kind of approach this injury adversity this time again now over this last kind of week and a half?
Yeah, just it's so easy to, fall apart, especially when you're going through two seasons, back to back, to where you get a season career or a season injury, a season ending injury. And it's so easy for you to, fall apart and, and be selfish and worry about yourself and or not worry about yourself and, only, just shut down and not be a leader of the team and stuff like that. Just it's so easy to do that. And he hasn't done that at all. He's actually stepped up and, he's out there every day at practices and all the meetings. He's, not, he's not, just worried about himself. He's taking care of the team, and he's still that leader of the offense and of the team. And, he's looking out for guys, and, and he knows we have his back through whatever. So he's stepped up and nothing's changed with him. He's same guy, high spirits. And he's always that. It doesn't surprise me at all. He's always been a guy that's just hungry and just attacking everything. And he's just going to attack this and come back and be a monster.
All right, last question is from Tyler Cashman.
Yeah, Eric, the back injury you dealt with in the surgery, just what all was that like, and trying to kind of get yourself back from that? How was that just kind of going through that?
Yeah, it was awful. It started out real like minor, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It was real frustrating because it could have been avoided, but it was just so frustrating. And it's probably the lowest like point in life that because I've always been like a happy, positive dude, uplifting dude. But it was something just about that. Like I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't, sit down in a chair. I couldn't, like, it would hurt. It was during the winter. I had a cold. I had a real bad cold. So every time I would sneeze and cough and stuff, it would send like this real bad aching pain down through my leg into my toes. And it got real bad. And it was to the point to where like I had like pins and needles in my toes, and like the doctors like were telling me that it was signs of permanent nerve damage, and there were like I was losing strength in my ankle. I couldn't get up on my toes and stuff like that, and like I was real like weak in my leg, and it was like to the point where I had to get surgery, where I was gonna end up with like an ACL tear or something bad like that, and so I ended up having to get surgery, and it was bad. I've been playing since I was 4. I never once sat out a season in my life, so had to sit out, and it was hard. But at the same time, I had my son Houston. He was on the way, and my family needed me, so I would just hide it, and just hide the bad thoughts, and just put a smile on my face and be there for my family. So yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you for your time today, Eric.
Well, sir, thank you. How it going, guys?